Hey everyone, it's Joe here. In just a moment, we'll be sharing a short story about Ursula. But before we do that, I just want to say if you're enjoying the show, we would really appreciate it if you could leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. We started this podcast about a year ago with absolutely no podcasting experience. We're still recording it out of our apartments and still kind of teaching ourselves how to do the audio editing stuff. And on top of that, we've got full-time jobs as well. So it's pretty tough, but we have a lot of fun. And we've gotten a lot of feedback from you all, which helps really motivate us to keep doing this. And if you'd like to support us, the best thing you could do is share this podcast with your friends. Tell them what it's all about and bring them into the community. And for those of you who already listen, we really appreciate it and thanks for sticking around. Now, without further ado, we've got a short story here that was sent in by one of our listeners, Inés. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because she also sent a short story we read a couple weeks ago about Medusa. So thanks, Inés. We really appreciate it. The voice you hear reading the piece is our very own Tiana. So here we go.
When Ursula was completely sure that Ariel was out of earshot, she let out a tremendous cackle. Oh, how sweet her vengeance would be. She'd been trying to find a way to get back at Triton for years. How dare he banish her? A little magic never hurt anybody, she muttered to herself every night. What gave him the right to decide what was right and wrong? They were both equally powerful and respectable. The only notable difference was that he was a man and she a woman. Classic. Then today, the most gullible of his daughters stumbled into her cave, asking for help. It was simply too good to be true. As she put away all her potion ingredients, she reflected on the genius of her strategy. Ariel would inevitably fail to kiss her princeling. Because who kisses someone who they've just met and who refuses to tell you their name? She'd have to face the consequences, and her father, the ever-honorable Triton, would take her place, enabling Ursula to easily take the throne. It's not like any of his daughters would be any good at ruling. They were young and inexperienced and far too preoccupied with singing and hairbrushing to rule a kingdom. The ocean would be in far better hands, hers. And the pièce de résistance was the fact that Ariel had brought this upon herself. She had sought out the sea witch, despite probably being warned not to do so, and signed a contract without reading it through. If no one is willing to sign a contract without reading the fine prints, then the consequences are entirely their own fault, Ursula mused. There was a small chance that the girl would write to the prince and explain her situation. The fact that she had been able to sign her name indicated that she was literate, but deep down, Ursula knew that Ariel would be too preoccupied to even consider it. Ah, the thralls of young love. Triton would finally know what it felt like to have everything he cared about ripped from him. The mere thought of it curled her lips into a satisfying smile.